Hello, hello. It's time to read some wonder. So we are on part 5, and this part of the story is told from Justin's point of view so that we can see what's happening from him. Now, this is the boy that was just introduced to Augie and is apparently Via's new boyfriend. The first time I met Olivia's little brother, I have to admit I'm totally taken by surprise. I shouldn't have been, of course. Olivia told me about his syndrome, has even described what he looked like, but she's also talked about all of his surgeries over the years. So I guess I assumed he'd be more normal looking by now. Like when a kid is born with a cleft lip and has plastic surgery to fix it or something. You can't even tell except for a little scar above the lip. I guess I thought her brother would have some scars here and there, but not this. I definitely wasn't expected to see this little kid in a baseball cap who's sitting in front of me right now. Actually, there are two kids sitting in front of me. One is totally normal looking kid with curly blonde hair named Jack. The other is Augie. I like to think I'm able to hide my surprise. I hope I do. Surprise is one of those emotions that can be hard to fake though. Whether you're trying to look surprised when you're not or trying to look surprised when you are. I shake my head. I shake his hand. So sorry. I shake the other kid's hand. Don't want to focus on his face. Cool room, I say. Are you Via's boyfriend? He says. I think that he's smiling. Olivia pushes down his baseball cap. Is that a machine gun? The blonde kid asks. Like I haven't heard that one before. And we all talk about Zadiko for a bit. And then Via's taking my hand and leading me out of the room. As soon as we close the door behind us, we hear them laughing. I'm from Brooklyn, one of them sings. Olivia rolls her eyes and she smiles. Let's go hang out in my room, she says. We've been dating for 2 months now. I knew from the moment I saw her, the minute she sat down at our table in the cafeteria, that I liked her. I couldn't keep my eyes off of her. Really beautiful, with olive skin and the bluest eyes I've ever seen in my life. At first, she acted like she wanted to be friends. I think she kind of gives off that vibe without even meaning to. Stay back. Don't even bother. She doesn't flirt like some of the other girls do. She looks at you right in the eye when she talks to you. She's daring you. So I just kept looking back right in her right eye too. Like I was daring her right back. And then I asked her out and she said yes, which rocked. She's an awesome girl and I love hanging out with her. She didn't tell me about August until our third date. I think she used the phrase a craniofacial abnormality to describe his face, or maybe it was a craniofacial anomaly. I know the one word she didn't use was deformed, though, because that word really would have registered with me. So what did you think? She asked me nervously the second we're out of her room or inside her room. Are you shocked? No, I lied. She smiles and looks away. You're shocked. I'm not. I assure her he's just like what you said he would be. She nods and plops down on her bed. Kind of cute how she still has a lot of stuffed animals all over her bed. She takes one of them, a polar bear, without thinking and puts it on her lap. I sit down on the rolling chair right next to her desk. Her room is immaculate. Could all of you say that about your room? I know my boys could not. When I was little, she says, there's lots of kids who never came back for a second play date. I mean, lots of kids. I even had friends who wouldn't come to my birthday parties because he would be there. They never actually told me this, but it would get to me somehow. Some people just don't know how to deal with Augie, you know? I nod. It's not like, even like when I know they were being mean, she adds. They were just scared. I mean, let's face it, his face is a little scary, right? I guess, I answer. But you're okay with it? She asks me sweetly. You're not too freaked out or scared? I'm not freaked out or scared, I smile. She just nods and looks down at the polar bear in her lap. I can't tell whether she believes me or not, but then she gives the polar bear a kiss on the nose and tosses it to me with a little smile. I think that means she believes me, or at least that she wants to. The next chapter is called Valentine's Day. I give Olivia a heart necklace for Valentine's Day, and she gives me a messenger bag she's made out of old floppy disks. Very cool how she makes things like that. Earrings out of pieces of circuit boards, dresses out of t-shirts, bags of old jeans. She's so creative. I tell her she should be an artist someday, but she wants to be a scientist, a geneticist of all things. She wants to find cures for people like her brother, I guess. We make plans for me to finally meet her parents at a Mexican restaurant on Amsford Avenue near her house on Saturday night. All day long, I'm nervous about it. And when I get nervous, my tics come out. I mean, my tics are always there, but they're not like they used to be when I was little. Nothing but a few hard blinks now. The occasional head pull, but when I'm stressed, they get worse. And I'm definitely stressed about meeting her folks. So when he talks about tics, somebody that has tics, like he's talking about that they come out when he's nervous. Somebody has tics might have like a shake, or like he's saying, the blink of the eye. It's something they can't control, and they're aware they're doing it, but it's just part of them. And it's something that will just happen. Like with him, it's when it's nervous. Some people have them all the time and they cannot control them at all. So let's read on. um, they're waiting inside when we get to the restaurant. The dad gets up and shakes my hand, and the mom gives me a hug. I give Augie a hello fist punch and kiss Olivia on the cheek before I sit down. It's so nice to meet you, Justin. We've heard so much about you. Her parents couldn't be nicer. Put me at ease right away. The waiter brings me over the menu, and I notice his expression with the moment he lays eyes on August, but I pretend not to notice. I guess we're all pretending not to notice things tonight. The waiter, my tics, the way August crushes the tortilla chips on the table and spoons the crumbs into his mouth. I look at Olivia, and she smiles at me. She knows. She sees the waiter's face. She sees my tics. Olivia is the girl who sees everything. We spend the entire dinner talking and laughing. Olivia's parents ask me about my music, how I got to the fiddle, stuff like that. And then I tell them how I used to play classical violin, but I got into Appalachian folk music and then Zydeco. And they're listening to every word just like they are really interested. They tell me to let them know the next time my band's playing a gig and they'll come and listen. I'm not used to all this attention, to be truthful. My parents don't have a clue about what I do with my life. They never ask. They never talk like this. I don't think they even know I traded my Barricade violin for a 8-string Hardanger fiddle 2 years ago. After dinner, we go back to Olivia's for some ice cream. Their dog greets us at the door, an old dog, super sweet. She'd thrown up all over the hallway, though. Olivia's mom rushes to get paper towels while the dad picks the dog up like she's a baby. What's up, old girlie, he says, and the dog's in heaven, tongue hanging out, tail wagging, legs in the air at awkward angles. Dad, tell Justin how you got Daisy, says Olivia. Yeah, said Augie. The dad smiles and sits down in a chair with the dog still cradled in his arms. It's obvious. He's told this story lots of times, and they all love to hear it. So I'm coming home from the subway one day, he says, and a homeless guy I've never seen in this neighborhood before is pushing his floppy mutt in a stroller. And he comes up to me and says, "Hey, mister, want to buy my dog?" And without even thinking about it, I say, "Sure. How much do you want?" And he says, $10. So I give him $20. I have it in my wallet, and he hands me the dog. Justin, I'm telling you, you've never smelled so bad in your life. She stank so much, I cannot even tell you. So I took her right from there to the vet down the street, and then I brought her home. Didn't even call me first, by the way, the mom interjects as she cleans the floor to see if I'm okay with his bringing home a homeless guy's dog. And the dog actually looks over at the mom when she says this, like she understands everything everyone is saying about her. She's a happy dog, like she knows she's lucked out on that day finding this family. I kind of know how she feels. I like Olivia's family. They laugh a lot. My family, not like this at all. My mom and dad got divorced when I was 4, and they pretty much hate each other. I grew up spending half of every week in my dad's apartment in Chelsea and the other half in my mom's place in Brooklyn Heights. I have a half brother who's 5 years older than me and barely knows I exist. For as long as I can remember, I felt like my parents could hardly wait for me to be old enough to take care of myself. You could go to the store by yourself. Here's the key to the apartment. It's funny how there's a word like overprotective to describe some parents, but no words that mean the opposite. What word do you use to describe parents who don't protect enough? Underprotective? We know our prefixes, so we know what all this means, right? Self-involved, neglectful, lame, all of the above. So it's obvious he doesn't feel that he's has the same family environment that Olivia has. Olivia's family tell each other, "I love you," all the time. I can't remember the last time anyone in my family said that to me. By the time I go home, my tics have all stopped. And we're going to stop right there. So the next time we'll be picking up still on Justin's point of view, and we'll be on his point of view for a few more readings and see, and then we switch back over to August's point of view. So I hope it's going well for you, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Miss you all.